Started a business to do what you love, not to categorize transactions, and that's a big part of why I created Bookkeeping Buddy. There's also, for my own pains, as a tax preparer that helps small businesses. I have a lot of people who just send me bank statements, and that's not what I need. That's not what any accountant needs. What we need are profit and loss statements. If you have a gross revenue less than $250,000, you don't need to include a balance sheet in the tax return. What we really need is a profit and loss statement. And for most small businesses, that is the thing that matters. The profit and loss statement, you're not booking accounts receivable, you're not booking long-term assets, you're not booking long-term liabilities or anything like that. It's just cash in and cash out. So I built Bookkeeping Buddy to solve that problem, both for myself and for my clients. So it is doing your books in under 10 minutes a month, and I'm going to show you on this video exactly how to do it and how you can get access to this also. By the way, Bookkeeping Buddy is $7 a month or $49 for the whole year or $149 for lifetime access. Links in the description. Here, what we're looking at right now is the dashboard. Once you log into Bookkeeping Buddy, you can see here at the upper left-hand corner the transaction period, and that's going to be based on whatever you've already uploaded. Here in the top middle, we have the import statement, which is the thing really you're going to use the most. And then we have a system status window over here and some statistics. If we scroll down, you'll see a ledger review, and this is based on what you've already imported. And we'll get into that here in just a second. But let me show you how you can do your bookkeeping in just minutes a month without having to pay any exorbitant fees, without having to use software like any of the big ones like QuickBooks or Wave or any of those, because those are built for accountants. They work great for accountants. They work terribly for people who aren't in the business of doing bookkeeping. So I just have a PDF here, and it is the statement from my most recent month, which is February of 2026. And I'm just going to drag it into here. And you'll see this window pop up. AI is analyzing. So that's going to take a couple minutes. So I'm just going to pause the recording here, and we can come back when that's done. All right, that is done. That took about 2 minutes. And the thing about bank statements is that every different bank has a different format. So we use AI powered by Gemini in order to read the statement so that it can pull out whatever is a transactions. Some banks have single line descriptions, some have multiple lines. Some put everything in the same list, some break it out into different lists. This is a Bank of America account, and they like to separate the deposits and withdrawals and checks and electronic fees and things like that. So it ends up being a fairly complex statement, but Gemini will figure it out, and nothing in the PDF is saved. The PDF is sent to Gemini, Gemini analyzes it, returns back to the server for Bookkeeping Buddy. Only the text that Gemini outputs is what is kept on the system. So your bank statements are only in temporary memory, and then they're released. Depending on how complex your statement is, it might take a couple minutes for AI to analyze everything, and that's okay. So as we look down here in the ledger review, this has all the different transactions that Gemini pulled out. And you can see in here we have 78 pending review. What that means is that Gemini pulled out 78 transactions from that statement. And you can compare that against your bank statement itself to make sure that it didn't miss anything. If it did, you can always just add an entry manually, or you can delete everything and restart it. But 99.9% of the time, it's going to catch everything. I personally have not seen it once miss a transaction. The next step is to press this button right here, this AI Analyze orange button. And what that's going to do is going to send all the pending review transactions back to Gemini for categorization. And let's go ahead and press that. And again, it's going to take a little bit of time. So let's pause the video here and we'll come back here in a second. All right, so that took about 2 or 3 minutes, and you can see it came back and it has all of these transactions categorized. Now, some it's not sure about. Anything that has been analyzed by the AI and is not edited by the user is just going to say AI uncertainty, just to let you know that, hey, this has been processed through AI, but we don't know 100% if this is correct. So this check number 1028, it's saying this is professional services. In my case, this was actually a business license tax for the city that my office is in. So it's not a professional services, it's actually a fee or a license or a tax. However, I'm categorizing that within my business. So you'll also notice that some of the transactions are grayed out. Those are ones that the AI determined to be internal transfers of some kind. That could be me putting money into the account from my personal account. It could be a transfer from one business account to another. It could be the business checking account, paying off a credit card, none of those go in your profit and loss statement. Those are all just balance transfer kinds of things. And so they should be ignored. But you can, of course, overwrite that if you so choose. If you scroll over to the right here, you can see this little eyeball icon. If we click that, then it changes back to being included in the P&L. If I click it again, it excludes it from the P&L. You can do that for every transaction that you see fit. And you can add little notes to every transaction if you want to say something within your records about a particular transaction. And you can see that since I edited this transaction, even though I changed it back, it removed the little AI uncertainty tag. But regardless, everything has been run through the AI now. And so the next thing to do is to generate P&L. This is going to be the profit and loss statement based on the current state of the ledger that we just looked at. And there's 4 different types of views here. The first one is year to date. This is your default. It's going to start in January and it's going to go through the most recent month that has data for it. So I just loaded the February 2026 statement. So that's the most recent activity in the ledger. And so it's showing me January through February of 2026. Now, if we were doing this in July, it would default to January through July of 2026. The next view is the monthly view, which is the same as the year to date, but just broken out by month. So you can compare and contrast. You can compare is just the last 2 months. And so that gives you more focus on just the rolling monthly income and expense for when you're doing your analysis for your own business. And custom, you can set any start date and any end date that you want, and it'll summarize it all into one column. So assuming that I am happy with Gemini's categorization, I'm done. That's it for the month. I was able to do my bookkeeping. I uploaded it. That took 10 seconds. I had to get my statement first. Maybe that took a minute. Processing of the transactions, pulling out from the statement, and then processing of categorizing took about maybe 5 minutes total. And then I pressed the button here to get my year to date or my monthly profit and loss, and that takes seconds. So all in, you're less than 10 minutes a month, and that's it. You upload your statement, you hit AI Analyze, you generate your P&L, 10 minutes. And Bookkeeping Buddy starts at just $7 a month. Link is in the description. If you're a small business owner who's been putting this off, this is the easiest way to get it done. Subscribe for more walkthroughs.